Welcome, 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 my lovelies. Welcome back. Sorry I haven't been on any sooner. I've been so incredibly busy the last 2 weeks. But yes, apologies for not having this video on a bit sooner for you. Cheers, by the way. A cup of tea today. So yes, I have been extremely busy, finishing off different things. The after effects from the live stream, I was busy for days after that, boxing and shipping, and absolutely fantastic. I had a really great time. I think I'm just about over it, which is brilliant. But this is now, I'm pointing over here because, as you always know, the whatever I'm working on is over that side. But this is the final part of the commission house that I've been doing. Yay! Sad that these journeys come to an end, but they have to at some point because the client has to have their house back. But then the journey begins again for them, with all the fun of dressing it and putting bits in. Maybe with any luck my client might send some photos of dressed rooms and things, so I might eventually be able to work out how to put those on the screen for you. So yes, so this is the last part of this house, and you'll see it complete. I have got a different method of wiring at the back of the house this time. It's a third method, one that I haven't done before, so that's going to be really exciting. I can't wait to show you, and of course I'll share that. I'll do that on video as well, parts of it, so you can see how that goes. But before then, we're going to go up to the top of the house now, up into the bathroom and the attic room and what have you. So we'll carry on in that direction, I think, or we'll probably chop and change backwards and forwards. So we'll get on with that, and I shall show you what we're doing there until we finish the completion of the house at the end of the video. And also in between everything else, which is another reason why I haven't been on sooner for you guys, I am always really conscious of not being on. Georgie is looking through the window of the of the workshop. Oh, he's gone again. I was going to turn the camera and show you, but he's disappeared again. Let me just see if he wants to come in. Okay, he did run in, but he's gone round the back of one of the cupboards. So we'll see if he comes out at some point. But yes, anyway, so I'm doing a different electrical wiring at the back here. So we'll have a look at that. But one of the other reasons, or two reasons, why I haven't been on any sooner is I've now got not one but two brand new collections of vases, completely different sets of glazes, different ideas, inspiration from different places that I've been studying. So yes, so I have got another two different sets to show you. I don't know if you want another live stream at any point fairly soon, then I can show you on the live stream. If not, I will just do a video of each collection, showing them on a video, so you can see what I've been up to. But yes, two brand new collections ready to put out there into the world. So right, oh, and also I have to tell you a bit of exciting news. John Boy, I was saying to him the other night about you guys always comment and say it's really lovely when you see John Boy come on as well for any reason, and I said they like you being on, and you haven't got a house to do or anything, and I think I just left those thoughts with him. So he's now decided, as far as I am aware, he's going to get a new build, a new kit to start on, and he's been looking and searching without me knowing. He just told me the other night I've decided to do this, so that's quite exciting. I'll let him do what he's going to do, and then when he's got that, he'll start on that in here, so I'll be able to video that as well, so the two of us can be on, and that should be fun as well. So anyway, let's get on and finish off this house and show you guys what I'm up to. Okay, so moving on to the bathroom now. As you can see, I have painted the two side walls the chosen colour. I haven't bothered going right down into the corners because where this line is drawn, we are going to put a false wall straight up from there to the ceiling and box that in. What I will do is fit the light in the room below first of all and bring that cable up, lay it in there, tape it down, so that's finished, and then we can carry on and fit this room. I've cut a piece of wood here, it's 5 by 5 mils, and I've just cut it to get a nice straight line along there. That's how far out I want the wall to come, so the top of the false wall hit against the ceiling and the base of it will hit against this piece of wood once I've glued it down, so it'll be a nice flat easy area to fit the wall in. Now to make the false wall along the back so I can box it in, I'm going to use a bit of this plaster board. It's very thin, it's like a foam board but it's got more of a denser filling inside, so it's not so spongy and soft, but it's very lightweight. It's just a craft board. So I've cut an angle, a sloping angle along the top there, so when it fits into the ceiling going up, it fits in nice and snug. That's the exact height that I want, and I'm going to cover this in some wood panelling. So I shall hold this up and show you. All I've done is get a bit of bare wood flooring that comes on the strips. Sorry, I'll put the rest of it away at the moment, and I've painted it the same colour as the walls, and I've sanded it and I've painted it again, so it's had 2 coats of paint. Then I've started at the moment, so I'll show you what I'm doing. You can see there where it's quite sort of, you can see the panels, but it's quite solid, and here on this side there's more, they look slightly further apart. Hopefully you can see that on camera, up to about there, and then it looks more solid. So to get that effect, while it's still on the sticky back, I'm just folding each piece over and just giving it a light sand, like so. Then the next one, and just do that right along until you get to the end. And that just gives a slight gap in between the boards. I just found that was the easiest way to do it. I don't know if it's the right way, I made it up, but but it works for me, and it gives a nice effect at the end. So there we are. Oops. So you can see now, you can see the gaps in the wood, and I've just got this little bit to do at the end, so it does make quite a difference. So I'll carry on, I'll finish doing that, and then we can fix this to the wall. Okay, now I am just jumping from room to room at the moment, so it's not, I'm guessing this video isn't in any particular order, but at least you'll see what's been done. So this is the room below, so I've already hung the light, and obviously that's okay up above there now, that's fine. So I can carry on and decorate this room. I've taped off the ceilings all around, and I've drawn a line around the middle. It's actually slightly higher than the middle, about ½ inch or so above the middle, and the top, you might not be able to, I'm not sure if you can see it till I watch this back, but the top is painted a very pale pink colour, very pale, and the bottom is a slightly darker pink, almost well, I'd say a bluey pink, if that sounds right, but it's not, they're not vivid. So in between those two is going to be a border, so I'll just show you that, and I'll show you what I'm doing with that next. So this is the border. Now that comes on a card. I'm guessing it's an A4 size sheet, and the stripes or the strips are 1 inch deep, and I've started cutting them up now, as you can see. So very carefully with a long metal ruler, top and bottom, and get it exact as possible along the top and the bottom before you cut it, and at each end, because they're going to join at the ends. So make sure you just cut off the white around the edge of the borders, but leave in the colour as it is. So when you put these borders on, they're obviously going to have to join around the room, but these are made that the borders join. Whichever border you put on, the next one will join up, and you can see. You'll see it better when it's all together, really. But I'll just show you how I'm marking this out in the room now. So to get the border up as even as possible, or as level as possible, the way I'm doing it is the border is 1 inch high, so we've measured up 4.5 inches, so that the base of the border will be right there at 4 inches, and it will come up to 5 inches. So this line in the middle, 4.5, is the centre of down the length of the border, each piece. So to lay the border, once it's been painted, instead of just trying to stick it on and do it by eye, which would be very, very difficult. Sorry about my shaky hand, I'm trying to show you this at the same time. But what I've done is at one end, I've measured the 4.5 inches and just brought it round onto the front of the house there. And I can paint over this when I touch everything up. And then further down the room, anywhere along here, I've just drawn another line 4.5 inches up. You don't have to draw the line right across, because you won't be seeing it when you stick the border on. But if I just grab a border, and then I can show you. Now I've done this just so I can see it, so it's not glaringly obvious to the naked eye, because I'm going to rub it off. But I've measured the 1/2 inch there and done a tiny pencil line just on the border. It's in pencil, so at the end I can just rub it with a rubber and just take that off, although it's so small you probably wouldn't know it was there. And at the other end, you probably can't see it, but I've done a tiny mark there, just a fraction of a mark, 1 millimetre if that. That's enough for me to see down into the room, and then all I'll do is put PVA, tacky glue or PVA, probably PVA, on this, and when I offer it up to the wall, I'll just get this level with the line at the front and hold it so I can see. Sorry we're out of focus, but I'll have a look and see where the dot is at the back there, and make sure that line is lined up with the line at the back there to get that straight. And then I'll hold that down in place and let that dry first. I will actually let that dry before I continue and put another piece on. I don't want to start touching this border and moving it in any way. So that's how I'll get that first bit on. Then, as you can see, the border will carry on to the back wall, and then along the back wall. So the border isn't long enough to go right from wall to wall. So if you just put one in the middle, you're definitely going to have a join there and a join there. So I've put one down, it will come so far down. The next one will come down and along, and then there'll be a join there, long and up, and then the other join up this side. So you can join them anywhere you want, but I would use the full length of the border, and I would start from one side and work round to the other side. Okay, now so that's all lined up, and that's lined up at that end, and it's dry, nice and firm. So to carry on with it, the border carries on exactly, so you don't have to cut them, you can just join them where they are. I find exactly where the corner of the room is, and then just to make a nice neat crease and not too far away from the corner, I very lightly get a ruler and the scalpel, a sharp scalpel, and just do a very faint line across there. So when you fold it, it actually bends with a nice sharp bend, so it goes into the corner really nicely. Then I will put the glue on that, and I can stick that in place. And again, you can't see it, but I can't see it off camera, but I have marked exactly a tiny point in them, just there, tiny point there, which is halfway, and I've made sure that the line shows at that end so I can line it up. So I'll glue that bit on, and then I'll carry on and do the rest of the room and get that finished. Right, my lovelies, so here we are in the bathroom. So yep, the walls are painted each side, and I haven't painted anywhere into the back there because it's all going to be hidden. I've gone way past where I would need to, but that's fine. And the light below, in the room below, has been wired, as you can see, and that's smooth on the floor in there. And I've drawn the line out to where I want the false wall to go, and I've glued this piece of 5x5mm wood on, and that's been glued overnight, so that's nice and firm now. So what I'm going to do next is lay the floor in, so that's down before I put the back wall in, and then that can cover over the edge of the floor in, so you won't see that. And then skirting board is going to go along there as well anyway, but I just like to lay the flooring in first because it just looks and feels neater. And here is the false wall, and you can see I've marked 2 points there each side, and I've drilled holes in that just using the hand drill. You can control it nice and easily when it's thin bits like this, and it just goes through this board easily, very quickly. So I've marked them exactly and measured these lines here and here, and then I'm going to thread the wire through the holes to put the lights on the back wall, so they'll sit evenly on each side of the wall. And then there's plenty of space on the wall there to sit a toilet or a bath or whatever the lady's going to do with her room when she dresses it. But these are great because they're just, the backs of them are just, I can't do it with one hand maybe, but they are just, oh yes I can, 2 tiny little magnets. So the front of it just, once I've glued this to the wall, it'll be nice and solid, and then to change the little bulb there, you can just pull that off and change the bulb, and then pop that back on again. There we are, back together. So I'll get those wired up, and I'll put those through the wall before I attach the wall as well, and that's after the flooring is done. Now, just before I glue the floor down, you probably can't see this on camera. I'm looking at it on the video, and I've tried it, and I don't think it really shows. But in real life, you can see what I mean. This flooring, tiled flooring, or slate tiled flooring effect, is a sort of grey colour, like different shades of grey. But as you put it in into the room with the green walls, I can see it looking at it, but it may not show on camera. But all the greeny grey sort of tones in the flooring, it actually brings them out. So it brings out more, there's more green in the floor with the green on the walls, and there'll be more when the back wall goes up as well. But anyway, I shall it was just an interesting point. So I'll just glue that in, and then we can put the wall in. Okay, so now we have the flooring in. Looking at it myself now, it looks, there's a lot more green coming out in the flooring, the green grey. So if I offer this up to you, to the camera, and let you see, I've fixed the lights on the back wall, so they just come in straight out through here. And the wires, all I'll do, I can't do it all while I'm holding the camera, but I will just feed the wires in, and I've done a hole on each side there for the wires to go back into. So I'll feed those in so I can pull them carefully from the back, and then I'll put glue on the top and bottom of the panel and the wood along the floor there, and then I'll just push it to the floor, to the back wall there, and glue it in place, and then we can put the skirting board on. Okay, so here we have the false wall up, the lights are fitted, the skirting boards are in, and we are ready to go round to the back of the house now. Yes, I'm going to take you round to the back of the house, and we're going to have a look at this wiring, because I did want to show you that before we finish. So just to catch up, guys, these are the sweet corns growing in the garden. We've got quite a lot of them, so they've worked, hurrah. And also the lots of beautiful flowers. They're all coming out at different times, but the roses, there we are, and hydrangeas, and also as we come down here, this is what I see every morning when I come down to work at the moment, and the seagulls saying hello. But also I just wanted to show you the beautiful longiflorum lilies that come out each year. There's 6 on one stem there still, and more still to come out. And just standing here filming this with the breeze blowing, all I can smell is the strong scent of these lilies. They're absolutely beautiful. Right, okay, so on the back of the house now, here's all the wiring coming out from the back, from the various rooms, and here we have on the wall, I've screwed it on so it's nice and firm, but we have a distribution unit, so something different again to use. And all I'm going to do is cut the wires, give them a nice length, but sort of cut them off, and then wire. There's a plus and a minus, positive and negative, but you don't need that with this 12 volt lighting. So the two wires, it doesn't matter which one they go in, there's no positive or negative. And here we have, I've already wired this in, we have a an antenna there, I think it's called, for a remote control. And the remote control is very strong, so it can be used anywhere. I think around the room it will work fine. So I'll start getting these wired up, and then we can have a look at the house. Yay! Right, okay, you won't be able to see this close up, and I'm not sure how. I can't really set the camera up to move in while I'm trying to work at the same time. But if I talk my way through it, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. So with this box, I'm wiring wires into both sides. There's both channels down each side, and down this side I'm wiring as much on this side of the house as possible. I couldn't put the box in the middle because the gap between the two windows isn't big enough, so I wouldn't be able to screw it into the doll's house. So I brought it to this side, and there was no point in putting it right up near the windows because I'd have had to join quite a few of these wires to get into the box. So I've just done it so I can fit as many wires in without joining, and then these wires, some of them are long enough I don't have to join them, and others I will join them. But there's one up the top here that I want down on this side of the box, and it's not long enough. So what I'm using is the heat. That's a very old bag. It was just a small piece I've got, but that's many years old. But you can buy heat shrink tubing, all different thicknesses. This one is 1.2 millimeters. If you're looking for some yourself, and it works really well. It's a really good size for the doll's house wiring. So I've got my extra length of wire that I want to join on. So what I'm going to do first of all is just thread. I'm just going to wire two wires together with the heat shrink tubing on, not in one whole lot, otherwise you're not separating the contacts, the wires, and it'll just short out then. So I'm just threading one of the pieces on. It's about an inch long, around an inch long, and that's fine. So I'm going to do that and join this wire to one of these wires, and then put another bit on there and join that wire to the other wire. As I said, it doesn't matter which wire you join it to. So I've just bared both wires, just hold them close together, twist them together to get a nice join. Might even fold it over a bit just to shorten it, and just try and get it nice and flat, and open the wire up So the two wires are joined together with a little bit of copper there, and the tubing is at one side of them on one piece. So I'm going to slide that tubing over the join. So you probably can't see it in the camera, but the tubing is a good inch, half inch on each side of the join of that wire. You can use, I won't do it on here, you can use just a heat gun. I use this for when I'm drying the outside of my miniature pottery vases before I take them off the wheel and then leave to dry. You can use hair dryers if it has an extra hot setting that you can press. Usually sometimes you can press them for so many seconds where they're extra hot. That will do it as well. But what I'm using for this is soldering iron. So if you do any soldering with wiring at all, you could solder those joins together if you wanted, but with the heat shrink you don't have to do that, because it really does go tight around it. And all I'm doing is stroking the tubing with the soldering iron, just top and bottom around the sides, and you can see as you rub it around the tubing, you can see it shrinking onto the wire. It doesn't stick to the soldered iron at all. There we are. There we are, and that's nice and firm now around the wires. I'll put this back carefully. There we are, and then I'll just put a bit more tubing on this piece, join them together, put the heat gun on it, and then I can carry on that length around the side and screw it into the junction box, the next junction box. They're all numbered from 1 up to 26, so you can put different sets in different joins, different junctions. So I'll finish doing that and get that in, and then I can move on to the other side. And as I said, the ones that are long enough I'll just wire straight into the box. These are all plenty long enough, and the ones that aren't up here, I will just join those and then wire them in. So I'll just get that done, and then I'll show you it front on so you can see how I've done it. Okay, so that's more or less all of them wired up and taped down, so they're nice and tidy. These ones at the top here, I've just got to get another batch of shrink wrap. I've just run out, so I'm waiting for that to arrive in the post. Then I can join that along with this, and then all three of these can be taped onto the board and wired into there. So that's more or less finished. But now let's carry on and go around the front. Right, okay, so as you can see, I've come round to the front of the house. The doors aren't on yet. I've just stood that in front just so you can see. But I'm going to now attach a porch light on the inside of the door, up inside there. It's actually it's very heavy metal. It's a raised story light, and it's a nice bright bulb as well. So it's a beautiful, lovely crafted piece. So I'm going to put this into the in the porchway, in the door. Now, of course, the door, the hinges are at this side, so the door swings open, so you can see into the rest of the house. So I have to join this light up, well, just using my own method really. I've just worked it out logistically, and I'll show you what I'm going to do to fix this light in. Okay, so I've measured the centre of the roof of the porchway and drilled a hole through there. That's where the light will come up through. And then the wire I'm just going to have go in to these copper strips here that's stuck on. I don't want loose wires hanging everywhere. So I've put some soldered on there, so when I touch the wires on there, they'll glue onto there. And then this comes down the side and then onto the back wall of the house, or the inside wall of the house. Again, where the joins are there, I've laid the copper strips down first of all, then I've added some solder onto those copper strips, then I've stuck on the next piece of copper going in the other direction, and then used more solder on top of that. So it's like a sandwich really, and it just really holds it solid, so it's joined really well there. And then that goes along to the, I'll flatten that down properly, and that goes along to the edge of the door there. And I finished off by putting 2 bits of soldered on there as well. Now I'm going to attach the door to the house. Okay, so I've attached the door, so if we close the door up, I'll move carefully, I don't want to shut the door too quickly. And if you can see here, I've laid another 2 copper strips here, keeping the strips all together so I'm not crossing over lines at all. But I've put copper strips from the side here down, and I've just used a small piece of wire there, and I've joined it on the inside of the door there, and joined it there. And when you open the door, it's not really that much of a hinge. The door doesn't really move much, so it doesn't actually pull the wire at all when it's moving. So that will just stay like that. And then also I wanted to say, when you are doing this, the first bit that I did, we held the light on at the door end, and I joined the electric source, the 12-volt source, to the 2 copper strips to make sure that was working. Then when I joined this bit on along here, I then put the mains onto here again, and John Boy held the light on at the door to make sure that was working, so we know these joins are working. So I personally wouldn't do the whole thing and then switch it on to see if it works, because if it's not, you don't know where the problem is. So when I came round to here, I then did the same joins here, again not crossing over the strips. If you have to cross over, which you don't here, but if you did, then you have to add black insulation tape or something quite thick there to run this copper wire over so it doesn't touch that. So this needs to be insulated if you do cross over. So these aren't, they might look it on video, but they're not actually touching. So once this join here was on and stuck, then we tried the light at the door again, and I held the power onto here to make sure this join was working. At this point it wasn't. When I touched the power on here, the light wasn't working. All I did was to get the soldered iron and just stroke the 2 joins again, because I didn't know which join was not working, and it just sort of squashed it in even more. Put the power on it, and then it was working. And then the same here again, did the joins there along here. And before I joined it up this end, again put the power on here so I know that these joins are working. So it was working right up until this point. And now to go into the box, I'm going to do the next junction up here. So I've got a length of wire. I've got both ends prepared. This end I have soldered on. I just wanted to show you this bit. If you're working on your own, it's hard to hold the wires on and hold the solder on and the soldering iron. Really, you need 3 hands. Not many people have that these days. Not like the good old days. So what I did for each join when I was doing this was to lay this on with my finger like that, so I made sure they were lying flat, put a bit of masking tape on so they were held in place. Then I could use the solder with one hand and the soldering iron with the other, and just dab those to join them up. Then I can, difficult holding the camera and doing this at the same time, but now I can just get rid of that. And then these ones, I have prepared these ends as well, and I'm just going to put them up to the next junction box there and screw them in, and then I can just check that the light's working for the last time. Okay, so the light is working, and all the other lights I tested every time I attached one light. I went round to the front of the house and made sure it was working. The wall sockets that you plug lamps into, I just got a spare light and plugged that in to make sure the wall sockets were working, so that all the lights are working. As you can see, that looks even better. It just looks like the side of the house now, and all you can see is that bit there. I don't know if the lady where she'll have her house, if she can walk around this side of it, but I just cut a strip 3 bricks depth and just glued that over the copper strip. So it just comes out the back there and then goes into the wall, and then just comes out near where the door is. I didn't want to cover that bit up with the white there. What I will actually do now, looking at it, is just get a brown felt pen, or ready brown felt pen, and I'll just paint that wire. Just, you know, a little added touch there. Attention to detail, as we always say. So that's that bit finished. Okay, so here we have the finished house. I think it's looking quite dapper. And the box at the back that I wired everything up to is in fact a remote control. So here's the remote control here, and I've wired several lights into several numbers. You won't be able to see it properly on probably on this light. Oh, you can just see it going on and off now. The lights. Let's try the hall there. You can see on and off, and then you can do each one separately, or you can, oh, there's that come on, or you can do, oh, and there's that one there. The fire there, I've got little coals that I'm going to tip into the fire, into the grate there. So those lights will cover up, but there's a flickering light and a full light. But I'll cover those in coals before the client gets their house. And then, so you can have any lights you want on or off, and then if you want to turn them all off at the same time, then you just press this button here and it goes off. So while you're sitting, you can just put on different lights, put off different lights. I tried it last night when it was dark, and closed the doors, and it looked lovely through the windows. I took a little video of it, and it was very, very grainy, but I might add it onto this video if it's just to give you an idea of what it looks like at night time through the windows. Okay, my lovelies, we have come to the end of this video, finally. It's been quite a journey with doing things in between and what have you, but thank you so much for watching. As always, if you have any comments about the house that you'd like to share, then that would be very welcome. I do apologise for this video not being on any sooner. I have been extremely busy the last 2 weeks, what with one thing and another, since doing the live stream, boxing up things, shipping things off, doing all different things with that. Also trying to finish off the house, which as you can see it's done now, hurrah! It's been a lovely journey. It's always a shame when it comes to the end of doing a house, because it's all over then. But then the client gets it, and they can then start dressing it, so they now can begin their journey. So the journey does continue. Hopefully my client might send photos of different rooms that she's done, and then with any luck I'll be able to learn how to put them on and show you. Also in between this time I have completed not 1 but 2 new collections of vases. Yay! Completely different from the series or the collection that I showed you in the live stream, but yeah, both completely different, and I can't wait to show you. I may just do a video of one, and so you can see them all on video. I'm not sure. I could do another live stream, but I don't know how soon you guys want another live stream. You might want to wait 3 or 4 weeks or whatever, I don't know. I do care, but I don't know, or I may just do it as a video, and I haven't had time to get onto my actual website and have a good search around to put more things in. I've been so busy, so it's been all excitement here. Oh, and John Boy has just been talking about, I think with me being so busy and he's been in and out doing stuff, and I think he's been missing it a bit. So there is talk of him getting a new build, a new kit. So that will be really exciting. If he gets something else, then we'll be able to see him put that together. And of course I will film some of it, so that we can both be on and you can see what John Boy's up to. I think he's really been missing what I've been doing here. So hurrah! Thank you very much for watching, folks, and we'll speak to you again hopefully ASAP. Okay, take care though, look after yourselves and speak soon. Bye.